that I'm done competing, I want to start training sumo again because I think that it has a lot of benefits that carry over to other lifts. On the platform, I pull conventional. I always have in competition, but I always have traditionally incorporated sumo pulls into my training because I think that it provides some benefits that the conventional pull doesn't. That translates to some of the other things that we do in competition. For my build specifically, I found that the sumo is a much more quad dominant pull. It's a lot easier on the lower back, so because I have had some minor back injuries in the past, I'll often switch to sumo to kind of give my back a break. But there's a lot of things to consider. When I have some of the things that I have difficulty with when I'm pulling sumo is getting myself placed over the bar properly. So I'll go into that a little bit, and maybe something that I do will translate to your training. For me with this lift, the biggest priority is making sure that you're exerting force against gravity directly. So that means the bar is moving in a straight path up and down. All the force that you're applying to the bar goes directly against resistance, so there's no inefficiency in the movement. Oftentimes, for me, the inefficiency comes from either being set up with my shoulders too far over the bar, which causes the bar to lift outwards, or I'm sitting too far back into it, which means that I have to pull more with my back. Ideally for me, when I'm moving well with this, I'm splitting the difference between pushing with my legs and pulling with my back at the same time. So when I find that when it's either all legs or all back, that either means that I'm sitting too far back into the lift or I'm too far over the bar. Notice when I'm pulling this, I am getting set up, and as opposed to bending over and picking the bar up, I'm getting into position and I'm trying to reach straight down and grab the bar. From there, I want to pull straight up. This keeps my shoulders over the bar, and it keeps the center of gravity in a straight line, basically. You'll notice here, on the first pull, I'm slightly too far over the bar, which really increases the difficulty of the pull. After I set it down, I correct myself, and I finish the set, and it's a whole lot easier. And watch the bar as I'm lifting it. Watch how straight up and down it moves. This is my lovely wife, Christina. Now, you guys don't see her in most of these videos, but a lot of times she's out there working out with me. If you like to work out, make sure you marry somebody that likes to work out. It's going to make things a whole lot easier if you're with a gym rat. I don't know about you guys, but I could literally watch my wife do these hamstring curls all day. Alright, enough fooling around. Let's get back to sumo lifting. So I want to talk about foot placement when you're performing the sumo lift. Some guys have a lot wider stance than others, and the most important thing to remember is that your knees need to track the toes. So if you go with a super wide stance, the wider you go, the more your toes will be pointed outward, and you have to ensure that your knees are always pointed in the same direction as your toes, which is going to require that you open your hips up as you're pulling the weight. A quick side note, with working full-time and kids and everything, having an activity that I can do with my wife is it's really cool. I get to spend a little bit of quality time with her and, still get some training in. The next set I'm going to do is 405 pounds for 8 reps. The first 2 reps that I do are incorrect. I'm too far over the bar, which results in a much harder pull. You can see my back's rounded and it looks like a real struggle because I'm off balance and I have to fight the weight. I correct the form. My 3rd rep in, I'm over the bar, I'm lifting more straight up and down, and I was able to finish the set with relative ease. It was way lighter. I probably could have done 10 or 12. So it's really super important that the bar travels in a straight path, which means that your shoulders have to be over the bar. For most people, it depends on your body proportions. For me, you'll notice that when the bar is moving in a straight up and down path, my shoulders are slightly in front of the bar and the bar is placed across mid-foot. For accessories, I'm going to be focusing the next few weeks on stiff leg or Romanian deadlifts. What I like to do with these is I keep my feet close together, I keep my legs as straight as I can, and I focus on doing reps where I don't set the weight all the way down. I just touch the ground and I'm keeping constant tension through the rep range. To increase the difficulty of this lift and to improve its effectiveness, I'll use these ramps to incline my toes, which stretches out the hamstrings, and when I pull, I focus on lifting with my hamstrings and my glutes. When I do this lift, that's the muscle group that I'm trying to focus on specifically. I'm not trying to pull with my back. You can wear your back out doing this, but if you can manage to get that mind-muscle connection where you're pulling with your hamstrings and your glutes, this is a real effective way to strengthen your posterior chain, which translates directly to your conventional or your sumo pull on the platform. Finished off with some hamstring curls. You can use whatever hamstring exercise you like, but I like to isolate and target those specifically at the end of each workout. I think it's like when it comes to doing pulls and deadlifts and other compound lifts, the hamstrings are probably the most neglected of the muscle group, and I think it's important to spend a little extra time strengthening and stretching that muscle out specifically. That'll prevent injuries, and it'll just make your overall lifting more efficient. So I'll do these for 4 or 5 sets, usually to failure, and then call it a day.